All right, welcome to the second part of the dashboard. Let me just give you an overview of what the dashboard is all about before we get started creating this. So now you can see we can switch, between quantity sold and revenue made, and you see this particular part right here gets some kind of, updated when we actually switch between the two. And as well, we have this dashboard to be a formula-based dashboard, no pivot table. It's some kind of get updated automatically when we paste our new data. So before we do that, let me just come to revenue right here. You can see the figure we have right here is 159.38 million US dollars and 27% of the current year 2022. So I'm going to come right here to my new data right now for the new year, which is 2022. So I'm going to highlight before the header. Control Shift down arrow will help me to some kind of highlight the range. Control C to copy, and we definitely go to the data source that we are using for our dashboard right here. Control Shift down arrow. So right now we are on the last row of our data. So what we can do straight up is actually paste in the new data we've copied right here. Take note of what we have right on this particular figure and the percentages. So right now, coming back right here, you just Control V to paste it down. So you don't have to click any button to have it updated. Coming back right here right now, click on it and you see this gets some kind of updated, and this is updated as well. This is wonderful, right? So you can actually select a particular, product, which is microwave oven right here, and you're going to see the analysis of this particular product on every single chart we have right here. And after that, we don't just stop there. We went ahead and make a recommendation for the company on what they can do to actually, make their business to, boom in the subsequent sales they're going to make on any single product. You get it? So now there are a lot to actually, do right here. You might not have same data just like what I have, but implementing all the, trick we have used right here to create this will definitely help you in your own personal project. So let's begin. If you've not watched the first part of the video, you might want to consider taking a look at that using the link we have inside the description box. So do subscribe as well if you have not subscribed, like, and let's see what you think about it by actually leaving a comment on our video. So right now we have to change the color to our dashboard. So I'm going to go right here and so go to the previous dashboard right here. So I want to pick the logo we used for that dashboard and bring it up right here and start using the color we've actually used for it. So Control C to pick the logo, and we come back to this one here. I'm going to Control V to paste it down. So I move it to where I want to have it right in. So here we go. We can just move it right here. So we want this particular logo to reflect the color of this logo to reflect our dashboard, specifically the area we are very much interested in to highlight it. So what can we do? So I can just double click on this one right here to have it on highlight. So I'm gonna go here, click right here, I can click on more colors, and I go to standard, and this is the color I want to actually pick. I'm gonna pick the color, click on OK. There you have it. So if I just go ahead right now and start switching, this is what happens. So I'm losing it in some parts. So what can I do to actually, make sure I get the color for every single part of the highlights? So I'm going to right click and select data. This time around, I want to select my highlights. So go to edit. So make sure you select this again. So come back right here and clear this off. And now you can select the whole range. So click on OK. So select this part right here and just click on OK again. Click on OK. And this time around, we can double click on it and go right here and select the color we want. This is the color right here. So right now, let's see what happens. So we have the color on every part of it. There is no part that is left. But I don't really want to use this particular bright color for it. So what can I do? Very simple. Make sure you double click on it. So double click on it and go to the color and change the percentage of the transparency into 34. So I'm going to use 34. Something as calm as this is very, very, okay. So I love something like this. Now we are done from here. What we can do right now is for me to make sure it's some kind of this way and make this one bold so that people can see it better. So once I've done this, I'm going to have to make sure I say no line and no fill. Right? So we have it like this. Click on it. No line and no fill. So we've taken off the color. It's just like this. So we can actually make sure we take it down to where we want to have it start from, and we can just move this up. And I want to have a header on it. So can we use this? Of course we can. We can just take this one right here. So what I can do right now is to double click, Ctrl A to highlight it. I'm going to say product, anything, you can name it anything, product analysis. Depends on what you want to actually use to name this. You can just go ahead and do this, or you can change it to revenue by products. So what we can do right now is to just go right here and make sure we select, like, let us use 18. Yeah, okay, 16 will be cool. So now we have this. So I'm gonna have to go right here and centralize it. So here I'm gonna have to some kind of highlight this product area where I have it named product. For my product, I want to make it bold, and the color should be the same color. We highlight it like this. That is nice. So we are done with this right now. The next thing I'm going to do right is for this one to be stand out rightly. Double click on it and quickly go ahead and remove no fill and no line for it. Nicely done. So what I can do next is for me to some kind of get this off. But before we do this, we want the order to be the same color with this. So I'm going to have to double click on this. And once we have this color, we can definitely go ahead and change it to the color. So like this, so we have the same color for it. And this color can be changed to the highlight right here. I'm going to change it. Don't forget we are using 34 for it. So I'm going to have to go ahead and say 34. That is cool, right? So now we have to make it bigger than this. I mean, we have to close the circle a little bit. So let us make this one 58. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to make this one 58. So 58 is cool. So now we can just go ahead and remove this. We don't need it. So we can make it a little bit smaller, just like this. And the next thing I'm going to do is to actually do the same thing to this particular part right here. Double click on it and say no fill and no line. So we can just go right here, and I'm going to turn either of it into the color like this one right now. Double click on it and just change it into this color. And I'm going to click on this one and come right here and make sure you change this into this color, right? So that is the online. So we have to make sure we are some kind of consistent with the color we use. That is going to be 34. That is exactly what it is. So now if we click on this right here, we're using 58. So we have to use the same 58 for this. So I'm going to go with 58. Hit my enter key. I have the same thing. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to have the same size. To be on the same size, click on format and right here. So we are using 1.81 by 2.48. So click on it. So here is going to be 1.81 by what? By 2.48, 2.48. So the next thing is for we to get this off. So if you ask me, how can we get to know which one is which one we want to create, whatever I want to create? It depends on if we have it right when we did it. So what we can do now is for we to come right here, we can actually bring the legend back to see which one is which when we want to actually put the percentage. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to select both of them, select this and come right here, go to format shape or shape format, whatever, align, and I'm going to align it to the right hand corner right here. So beautiful. This is giving me what I want. So I'm going to have to move it this way. So nicely settled down. So now I'm going to have to click on this and cancel it. And this time around, we have to bring the percentages that is peculiar to either of them. So if you look at the previous one right here, we tried to actually make this one stand out, like making it very bold. So this is exactly what we're going to be doing because it's going to be the focus. 2022 is on focus. That is what we're actually analyzing this data for. So what can we do? We have to go back right here. Go back right here and I can go to the top, insert from there. I'm going to go to here and pick my, okay, what am I doing? Okay, I can go here and pick this particular text box, drag it down right here. So go right here and put your equal to right in and go to analysis. We can locate that by coming here. The percentage you want to pick right now is this particular one right here. That is peculiar to 2022. That is it. So now we can just go ahead and some kind of change this into area black. So we can select, once we select area black, just okay, it has not been selected. Here we go ahead and, so we can go ahead and select this. So let us go ahead and put it on 60 and see what we have. So we're gonna have something as huge as this. So we have to open this place up. 60, open it up. And once we get back right here, let's see if we have our percentage right on it. So is okay, 33%. Why are we not seeing it? Okay, nicely done. So we have seen it. So what we can do next is for we to change the color to this right. So the next thing is for we to some kind of double click, or we can control 1 and have this to remove the outline and the color we have right for it. Nicely done. So we can go back and just make sure we centralize it, and nicely. So what we can do again is for we to some kind of like I'm going to double this, and inside it, once you double click, it turns into something you can actually type into. So Control A, I'm going to type in orders right in here. So now that we have this right, so we can format the color by coming here, clicking on this and selecting the same color just like this. So we can go back to the top and change the size of this into something. But why don't we pick something that looks some kind of a little bit, you know, clear to what we want? Something like this would be cool. So we can just make sure I have this right here. So change the text from this to something like this would be cool. I can have it on bold. Nicely done. So double this right, Control D to actually duplicate it. I can come back right here and go ahead and pick this up, which is the percentage for orders. And now that is exactly what I want. So we can just change it to the same thing like this, and we can crank it up a bit and make sure we change the color to match what we want. So we can just go ahead and put this right here. Now, you know what this one actually stands for? This is the other years we had been in operation, but the current year we're analyzing is actually this particular color right here. So once we actually change this, it's going to actually reflect this right here, and we have something very nice. So we are coming very close to what we have on the previous dashboard. If you're very calm right now, before you know it, we're going to have to actually have something like this. So the next thing is for we to actually have a header right for it. So selected year 2022 versus other years, right? That is exactly what we need to do. Go right here. So I'm going to pick this. So I'm going to have this right here. I'm going to have it opened up to this side. So double click on it, Control A, selected year, open bracket 2022, then close it. We're going to make this one to be other years. So now we have to change this to, just reduce this until it shows up. So nicely done. So we're going to have to change this to this, or change the, sorry for that. Yeah, go back and change it to this. So what we can do right now is to make sure once we do this, what we can do is to have it on 34%, reflect 34% because I don't want it to be too bright, 34%. So now we have this. So we can now select a bright color. So go to text and click here, something this. So we can just make it this way. Right now, go back to the top and make sure you have it some kind of highlighted. So don't worry, we're gonna have to some kind of make it on the same line, but we have to be done with what we're doing. So I'm gonna have to double it and bring this right here. So bring this one right here. So in that case, we're going to have to click on this and actually move this down right here. Nicely done. So we have to change the header to this. So double click on it. Control A is going to be revenue by means of order rather. So nicely done. So we just have to make sure we bring it down a little bit. And this time around, what I want to do is just to double this, and I'm gonna have this right here. So we want to go and pick something from here. So we can scroll to this end, and here we have percentage for online. Here we go for online. So what we can do right now is just to make sure we copy the same format from here for this one. But right now, before we decide on which color is which, what I can do is just for me to some kind of come right here and put on the legend. So now for online, this is the same color for online. Nice, nice, nice. So we are cool to go. Now I'm gonna leave it that way. So what I can do is just for me to some kind of reduce this for online. So we can just make sure we go this way. I'm gonna settle it down right here. So just double this and have this right here. So we just go ahead and pick it up, and this is for offline, for install. So we just have to come here, and I'm gonna go right and pick this and give it the same formatting. Then from here I can just decide to change the color to what it is that I want to use. That is gonna be something like this. So too bright, I just want to use something not that bright. So that is nice. So what we can do next is for me to copy this from here, double it, and I'm gonna have it right here. Open it up. So here's gonna be my install revenue. So double this and take this one up. So here is going to be our online revenue. So on this online revenue, we have to change the color to match the header, and we can reduce this to 34. So something like this. So what if we hold both of them and just come right here, go to align, and we align them to the right hand corner. That will justify what we have right for both of them. So we can select this and select this and do the same thing, and go to format, align to the right hand corner. So this is going to give us this. So this is going to some kind of, when we click right here, what happens? Can you see it right now? So it gives us 50/50 for this particular product dishwasher. In 2022 is 50/50. And if I select this right now, can you see it now? It's changing, and we see the percentage that it represents in terms of revenue. Nicely done, right? So I'm gonna have to go ahead and shut this down right now. So the reason why I did that was for me to some kind of select this, and this, and I'm gonna have to bring it down right here. Just bring it down a bit. So once I have it down, so I want to come right here and do the formatting like this. I'm gonna bring this down a bit. Can you see that? So nicely done. So it is time for we to arrange things the way it should be. So I don't know when this one left here, so I just have to make sure I make it cover to this end. Or rather, Ctrl Z, yes, we can just go ahead and bring it back. So we shifted it mistakenly. So now this is done. So right, so we can select this, and we can have this right here. So we can select this and take it down a bit. and select this one here and bring it right here. So we can now select this and make sure it's in the same place with this one here. That makes us to some kind of hold these two together and bring it down a bit. Then we can now select this one and move it. So just move it. Nicely done. So make sure this one and this one, they are on the same line. Click align to the right hand corner. Nice. So now we're almost done from here, but we have one more thing. Let us go back to the previous one. Here we go. So if I select a particular product that we have the highest sales for year 2022, that is beyond all the years we had been in operation. So we're going to see this particular pop-up right here that's actually give us some information about what it is that this year is all about, right? So how do we create this? That is the next thing we have to go into, right? So going back to the back end here, so I'm going to use the if. So what I'm going to do with the if right now is this. I'm going to say if the year 2022 that we have on focus is greater than the other years we had been in operation, and the other years is actually 2021 or 2020 or 2020 or 2019 right here, there's 3 years. So if that is actually the case, what I want is this. So if it is true, we're going to have to say, if this is true, give me inside of quotation, we want to type in what we want for it. Okay, before then we have to reference this part here, the selection, which is the product that has the highest sales that made us to eclipse other years we had been in operation. So select this, and now we can ampersand, double quotation, now shift it and just say has the what? Has the highest revenue in. So just close it, ampersand right here, select this. The reason why I'm selecting this is this. The owner of the dashboard might like, okay, why can't we see for 2021? But right now, based on what the specification of the sales manager is, we are actually creating for 2022, but I still want to make this part dynamic because we might want to change it in the subsequent time to come to look at 2021, 2020, and 2019. So I'm making a reference to this cell. You should do the same thing too, right? So I'm gonna have to put my ampersand again, and this time around another double quotation. So I'm gonna type in here compared to the previous years. So open bracket, 2019 we had been in operation, 2020 we had been in operation, 2021 before this current year we are analyzing our data right on 2022. So I'm gonna have to close this and now close this and hit my enter key. It's giving me false. The reason why it's giving me false was that I've not provided for it that if this is not true, what do you want me to do? So for that, I'm going to come right here. I'm going to open this. I'm going to see my comma. So sorry, close this, and I'm going to see my comma. So it's saying that, okay, if this is false, which means if this is not greater than this, what do you want me to do? Just give me nothing, like hit your enter key. Now it's giving me nothing because it is not greater than. So you let us come back right here right now. I'm gonna have to like pick this from here, double it, bring it down here, open it. Let us go ahead and put on the formula bar. So come here, let us go and pick it up. Despite that nothing is inside it, we have to pick it up. So now nothing is actually displayed inside it, so we have to control 1 to make sure we turn up the color we have for it. Go ahead and close it. So now we can select until we get to a year where we have our sales like this. Can you see what I'm talking about? We can open it up, then go to the top here. So we can put it on 12, or we can leave it the way it is, right? And come right here and select something like this and put it on italic, and we can make it bolder. Yes, of course. So something like this will be cool. So it only appears when we have a value or a revenue that eclipses other years that we had been in operation. That is exactly what we want this particular part to show. Beautiful, huh? So now that we've gotten this created, it is time to move on from here. So it is time to work on our charts. So I'm gonna have to make it this big. So I'm taking off this title. I don't want it. I'm taking this particular part off as well, so I have my chart opened up. And the first thing I'm gonna do is to double click on this, and I'm gonna have this charts, series or data series to format it. So coming right here right now, we have different way to do this. So can you see? Just play around to see what those part right here stands for and how it can actually help you and all of that. What I love to do is to keep mine on on automatic. Just make sure it's actually on automatic. And come right here and just do this to actually get all the names of the states you have available in your data. So the next thing is for me to come to the color area, and I'm gonna have to some kind of open this place up. Very important. So coming right here right now, I want to come here and use this 3 colors for it. So I have actually gotten the 3 colors. So I want to actually, my the lowest value should be this color right here. Let's say when I use this color for the lowest value, and the midpoint is actually gonna be this. So select this number. So I come right here, and the midpoint is gonna be on 0. 0 for the midpoint, and I'm gonna select white for it. Can you see this right now? So for the highest value is where we're going to use this particular color. And for any area that has no data, what do? We have to come right here and select this to be white. That will make this one to disappear. You get it? So now that we've gotten this created, let us go back to this particular part right here. Go right here, and now let us change from revenue to quantity sold, and I can go ahead and close this right now. So this is what I have. So if we go back and change it to revenue, it gives us this, but doesn't really show much difference, of course. What do? Let's try to actually make things easy for ourselves by actually making sure we do the navigation from here. I'm gonna go to my developer, click right on this and pick this particular option button. So drop it down here. So I'm gonna delete all the text I have inside it. So hold your Control to get this one, Control D to double it. I'm gonna have that one right here. So select both of them, go to the top, and here align them equally to the top. So that is nice now. So it's not working, it's not making anything. So what I can do is just to make sure I right click on either of them, form control. So come right here, and we go back to analysis, and we can make sure we link it in any of the cells right here. Click on OK. That is beautiful. So right now we have this one. So we want this one to be what is given this particular part here to change, not this particular part any longer. So we want to change this from here. So what I can do is to double click on this. Or still, what we have to do right now is to make sure this one we kill it totally. So what we can do is to select any cell, copy it, come right here, paste it, and we've killed it, right? So now inside here, we can now type if this one right here is equal to 1, I want you to give me this, else give me this. Hit your enter key. That is still gonna work right here. Can you see that right now? So if I select this one to be 2, what I have now is this. It gives me value from here, and if it is 1, it gives me value from the revenue area. So the same thing, easy. So we can now change, and we can now change this. So this one is controlling our quantity. Let's get back and see if that is true. Yes, of course, it's controlling our quantity, while the other one is controlling our revenue. So what I can do quickly is just to get rid of this, bring it right here. I'm gonna say revenue. So Control 1. So let us add total revenue. So I'm going to say total revenue. So don't worry, go back here and we'll reduce it. It reflects it. So for the total revenue, I'm going to kind of highlight it. So what I can do now is just to change the color. For my total revenue, I want to have this color and I want to make it bold. So we can just copy this, Ctrl D, to duplicate it and have it for this particular part. So here, I'm gonna have quantity sold. So quickly QTY sold. So we can just highlight this particular part, and I'm gonna have a dark, something dark like this, and make it bolder. Something like this would be cool. So right now we can switch between them. So we can select this as well. So what we can do to make it very easy now is to just have this and send it to back. Send to back. So click on this and send it to what? Send it to back. So it will be very easy when we want to click this. Even if we are here, we can click. So can you see that right now? So try that on your own. You'll see the same thing. So it is time for we to change the negative part of it. So what can we do in that case? It is not actually negative, but for we to make sure we make the color to stand out, to have different color, that is why we are doing what you have to do right now. But if we hover over it, we can see the value right now. If we click on the revenue, it's not showing in dollars, right? Or in any currency formatting you chose. So what we can do right now is just to close this for now. Go back right here and come right here, double click on it, and let us put this particular one that is actually our revenue. We're gonna make it negative. I'm gonna put minus here, or rather let us use the one that is actually our quantity. Put minus on it for now. Hit your enter key, and now we double click to copy it down. So when we turn this one into 2 right now, what happens? So we have it on minus. So if we go back right here right now, it has changed that for us. Maybe I have actually jumped a step, not really jumped a step. I should have done that step before this one. So what I've done right now, if I click on this, is this. I'm going to go to colors. I have the minimum to be what? The minimum to be on black. So if I change it to this color right now, it's going to pick the color immediately, but I don't want this color for it. The reason why we have the color changed was because we actually have one of our figures on positive and the other one on negative, so it was able to actually differentiate between the colors we want to use for them. So for that, I'm going to use something dark like this. So I'm cool with this right now. So this is the lowest number, and if we come back right now, we can see minus is always lower than when we have something that is positive like this. So for that, we've used that one to change our colors. So hope you get what I'm trying to do right here. Okay, let us see the next option. So if I hover over this right now, it's giving me 64,800, which we don't really understand if it is in dollars, naira, Ghana cedis, or whatever currency it is. So, and if we actually click on this, it's giving us in minus, despite that we have the highest, sales to come from California. So we are having it in minus. So we want to do away with this. What can we do? So close this, go back here, and from here, Control Shift down arrow to highlight everything, then Control 1. So what we can do right now, pay attention to this part, go to custom and select something like this. So we are actually on minus. What I'm going to do right now is for me to some kind of select this one and have this semicolon right in it. It disappeared, right? So with the semicolon we have right in here right now, so I'm going to copy from this particular side, copy it and drop it right here. So right now it has given us this. So here we're going to have our positive one, which is going to be our revenue. So we want to have a dollar sign right for it. So it does not show up right here right now. So what we've done right now is to remove the negative sign we have right for it. So the minus will be gone. So if I click on OK right now, we have the minus gone. So if I change this one to 1, let's see what happens. So we have them on dollar sign, just like the way it should be. So if you follow the same thing I've done, you're going to have the same thing. So now if I hover over this right now, we have this $80,000, like over $80,160. So if I change to total quantity sold right now and hover over it right now, it's not giving us minus any longer. It has given us this particular, $200,632, right? So this is exactly what it is. So what I can do right now, I don't want to see this. What am I going to do? Double click on this and make sure you don't have any fill and even line. So here we go to the top level, insert shape, pick this up, and I'm going to come right here and do this. So go back here and change it to white and turn off the line. And this is going to give us this. I can select and make sure you some kind of group them together. So it's now grouped together. I have something like this. So we can just, switch between them. Definitely this is what we've done in the previous video and all that. So the next thing right now is to make recommendation. So if I go back to the previous one I've created, which is this one right here. So as you can see, we've made a recommendation for the company, what the company needs to do to actually increase, more revenue. So we've seen that most of the sales are being done on in-store. So we can increase our sales or revenue by doing more, what do I call it? By actually putting more money on ads to push our products to the people that had not known anything about our product or our company. So that was what I actually suggested, because if you go and filter through right now, this product has more sales in what? On the in-store. So if I check this right now, this same product, 57% of our revenue was generated from the in-store, and this one as well, 62%, this one 52%. Can you see it right now? This is the only place we've actually gotten online to do well when it talks about Blender. So and all that. So that made me to feel like, okay, if the company could be able to actually invest more on ads, so it would some kind of trigger, sales. So I can just double click on this one and just make it bold. So now we don't have to do this from the scratch. I can copy this away from here, and I'll copy this, and I'm gonna take it to for the one I'm creating. So I'm gonna have it pasted right in here. So I'm gonna move it right here. So for that, this one now will definitely make me to some kind of move this right here. So now this is nice. So let me take you through what I've done to actually made a recommendation for the company right here, which says California, Texas, Florida, and New York should be the main targeted area because they have the top populated states. They are the top populated state with the highest numbers of people living inside it. So how did I know? So when I actually came to this part right here, okay, let us go back to this. I'm gonna go here. Now in the data you're going to download will definitely have this population. So we have the population of what? Of the states in the United States, like all the one we have. So what I did was some kind of copy this. I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to copy everything from here. I'm going to copy it. So I want to go to my analysis. So go to the dashboard, and from here we have to visit this one we are creating. Go to the back end, and from there I'm gonna have to paste this one right in here. I'm gonna paste this one right here so you can open it up. So what I'm gonna do right now is this, very simple and easy. So I want to create one more insert, and what I'm gonna do is to use VLOOKUP to check the population of this particular, state right here. What is the population? So I'm gonna use my VLOOKUP. Look this up, my comma. Where do you want to look that up from? So it's gonna be from here. So Control Shift down arrow, then F4 key to lock it down, comma. So the second column, comma, and give me the exact match. Close it and hit your enter key. So it's actually formatted it formatted this for me with $. It's not that, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. So we go with this. You get this right now. So right now what I'm gonna do is to some kind of what at the top of for revenue states, and want to see the population of those particular states to make sure we can do the recommendation. I believe by now you must have known what I'm trying to do. So what I'm doing now is gonna be some kind of like okay, let's do this. 1, 2, I can go with this. So there's the 5, and from here let us bring this one here so we can see what we're doing. So right here I'm going to type in my revenue. So revenue. So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to say large. So from here to the left, my comma. So we go all the way back up again, and the first largest, close it, but we have to some kind of lock this part down. F4, hit your enter key. So scroll down. So those are the largest revenue we've gotten. So we want to know what those states are. So the next I'm going to do right now is just to use index. So something we've done before. So the index is looking for what you're looking forward to seeing. So the states, my comma. So we just have to go back, and I'm going to use my F4 key before comma. F4 key to lock everything down. So my comma right now is going to be match. So my match is gonna be looking for something from this, so up, comma. So here we go. Control Shift Enter. F4 key, comma 0, close and close again. Hit Enter. So based on the product we've selected, so those are the top 5. Oh, we don't need all this. We just mistakenly clicked that, so don't worry. So based on the states we have selected, the product we have selected from here right now. So if I change it to something like this, so those are the states with the highest revenue. You get it? But we want to check where is the what? I'm gonna have to insert 2 columns right here. So I want to check if those states fall under the most populated state in the US. You get that right now? if we are getting sales of this particular product from those particular area. We can see Texas is one of the populated states in the US, followed by California. You can see based on the area of land, but we can't really use our eye to justify that. So what we can do now is to come right here. I'm going to type in the states. So I'm going to type in states. So we go down. So now here we go. But don't forget we have to use the large function, large. So I'm going to come right here. Start from here, Control Shift down arrow. So F4 key, comma, and here we go. Hit our enter key. Now we have it to be very large. So we can just go ahead and copy this down. So now value, so we just have to make sure we move this right here, and we just type in here value. So now we have to get the states right here. So what we can do is just to use the same index to do this. Index, you're equal to first index. So the index is looking for the array. So what we want is this particular state we have right here. So Control Shift F4 key to lock it down, comma. So we're gonna have to use match function. And the next thing again is gonna be this. We want to match this. Where do we want to match this? We want to match it right here. Control Shift down arrow, and this time around, comma, 0, close them and hit your enter key. So now we can see California has the highest number, so we don't need any of this. We can just get it off. So we shouldn't have double click, and we should have just dragged it down. So what is giving us this attitude right now? So what have we not done? So something is moving. That is this, right? So let's do that. So double click on it and make sure you highlight this area, and your F4 key should lock it down. I thought I did that already. So now we can just move this down. So now we have the first populated state is this. So right now I try as much as I could to find if we have all those states present in buying those products right here. So they don't actually appear on our top revenue states. So we have to do marketing to those states. If I go here and change it to another product right now, so you can see if I come back right here, so the only state that is present right now is still California, and then none of the other state that is actually present on our top revenue states right here. So for that, we have more people living in Texas, in Florida, New York, and this state as well. So we have to push our products to this particular state. So, and after that, that does not really stop there. What I did was going here, and I'm going to come right here. I'm going to type in here top populated states in the US 2022. So now you can see right here, we can just see right now we have California, Texas, Florida, and we have New York. And you know, can you see what I'm trying to, can you see what I'm saying right now? We can just copy from here. Just copy everything from here, Control C. Let us go back to Microsoft Excel. You can see what Excel is doing for us right now. So I'm gonna go here and okay, what if I paste it right? Just move this. So move it once again. We don't want to see that. So we can just go ahead and paste this right here. So now can you see? So if I go ahead and add like this, sorry for my sluggishness. Want to go ahead and add this up. So now come right here and select it and move this all the way down. So let's see. So we have California, we have Texas, we have Florida right here, So we have New York City. So we have this. We have this as well. Hawaii is here, and we have Georgia. Not Carolina is what we've not gotten because we didn't copy up to that particular extent. Right now, this is what we are getting currently as of 2022. Now, those are the top populated state in the US. So now, do we have to make the recommendation for our company to be pushing, products to those particular places where we have more people living in? Because we're going to have more sales, of course. That was how we got to make this particular decision for our company to do more art, to actually run more ads and push those particular products to those area. Very, very cool. So we can just go ahead and make this one go this way. You can open this place up a bit. So nicely done. So we can just open this up. So we can just click, okay, Control Z. Okay, let us have it this way. So now that was how we just got to do this and feel like, okay, those are the states where we have to push most of our products right in. So just Control D to double this and move it down and make sure it's here to be the second one. So the next thing is for we to some kind of creative a frame for our dashboard, which is going to be very simple. I'm talking about something like this that make our dashboard to some kind of standout. So how do we do this? So to create the demarcation, what we can do right now is to go to the top right here. So pick this line from here, and right now I'm going to have the line to be here. Hold your shift key to draw a straight line to this particular part right here. Right, so release it. So what you can do, Control 1, and I'm gonna come right here and click on this gradient line. So I might want to use one. Okay, let us use one stop in the middle, something like this. I can go ahead and make sure this one is thick. Like scroll down on the weight. We have to make the weight to be 2.25. So the one in the middle, we want to change the color to something like this, right? Nicely done. So right on this particular part, so you can see where it is. So we've actually deleted that. Plus, to insert a new one, drag it to this side. And what I can do right now is the transparency I want to actually affect. Just reduce the transparency a bit. That will create the kind of reflection we want to use for it, right? So if you are very much satisfied with what you have, reduce this. I can just go ahead now and close this and Control D to double this, right? And I'm gonna bring this one right here. And this time around, I don't want to start from the top. I can just go ahead and hold my shift key and drag it to start and stop here. So we do the same thing right for this part. Control D, we can move it and have it right here. So for we to be very sure of if they are on the same height, so go ahead, go to the top and go to align and align top. So we have it. So now come right here and pick this one, Control D, move it to be on this side. In here, it's going to touch this one a bit, leave it that way. Now you see what we've done. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to make sure I click on this one again, Control D to double it, and go to the top level. So we have to rotate this, and we're going to have to rotate it by what? Left 90 degrees. So I'm taking this one away from here. I'm going to have it right here. So I'm going to have to drag it until I have something like this. So now that we've gotten something like this, I'm going to have to pick this one, this, and this, and I'm having them inside here. So this is where I want to have it in. So for this one, I still want to have the same kind of reflection I have for it. So go here, and this time around, click on this particular part and see what we can do. Let us use something like this. So now, we can come here and just reduce this 80%, 80, and reduce this. And for the one in the middle, we can just reduce it, and it creates something like this for us. So if we go to the previous one right now, let's see what is the major difference we have right now to this. Not really much. So what we can do right now is just to make sure we click on this, and we have to close the gap between here and do the same thing to this side, and click on this. We have to make sure we do this, and we have to close the gap between here. So if we go back to the previous one now, we are switching between them. So we don't have much difference, do we? We don't have much difference. So we still have one more thing to go. If I click on this right now, so what we have is this revenue till date. And if I click on this, it's given me the quantity sold till date and the current quantity sold for the current year we have on selection. So how do we create this? Do you want to know? Let's do it. So let us head back here. And now before then, let's come here. So I'm gonna pick this and pick this, Ctrl C. I'll go back here. So here is still empty. I just want to have something right inside it. So we can pick this up and have this right inside here. And I'm gonna have, okay, I can't really move it, so I can just Ctrl Z. Now I'm gonna have it outside here. So now this one is gonna come right in here. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you where I got these shapes from, or these icons from. So if you are using Excel 2019 and Excel 3 or Excel 365, so click on the shape area right here. You see icons. So click on the icon, and you're gonna see where you can actually get those icons. So on other videos, I've shown you how to get your icons in different sites and as well inside Excel or PowerPoint. So that is exactly how we've done that. So coming back right here right now, what I'm gonna do is this. So I'll definitely come here. I'm gonna type in my quantity sold till date. So here is going to be my revenue generated till date, and the formula is very easy. So it's just for you to just use the sum function, and we straight up to our, so here, so we just have to format it, currency, and here we go. So we come right here and we sum the quantity. So this time around, I'm formatting this into number. And here we have the one that is in kind of like the current year we are into right now. So what I'm going to do right now is just going to be current year 2022. So I'm going to use the sum function, but I'm not doing the same thing I've done previously before now. So what I'm going to do right now is to scroll to this end where I have my products right in. So here we go. We're going to actually start to get this. And if I hit my enter, so I have it. So if you think this is not actually right and you want to prove if this is correct, if this is giving us, you know, product for 2022 based on the filter of this particular microwave oven and as well 2022. So if you want to prove that right or wrong, what you can do right now is quickly use the sum ifs function to do this. So I'm going to use sum ifs function. So the sum range is going to be this, my quantity. So the criteria range one is going to be this year here. So we go back right here and we scroll to this end and we'll pick this And with F4, because we're not even copying down, we can just, it's optional for us to do that. So comma, and the criteria range 2 is gonna be this particular, product right here, comma, and we go back to analysis, and we scroll back here, and we pick this up. So we can decide to use the F4 key, optional. Let me close and hit my enter key right now, so we still have the same value, right? So I just use that as a shortcut because already it had been calculated for us. So I'm going to take this off. I don't really need it. So now what we need is this particular part, but we don't have to format it the way it is actually is right now, because if we go to the previous one, we don't have a huge number. Instead, we have it formatted in K. And if it is in million, just like this one right here, we have it formatted in million, $159.38 million, which is what we have right here on the revenue aspects, right? So what can we do to have the same thing we have right here? And what can we do to make sure we create a switch between two of them? Very easy and simple. So go back right here, and now let us format this. So Ctrl+1 right now, go to custom, and we have to select this. So right now, what we can do here is this. So we have to come right here and have a comma. So once we have comma right now, it's going to actually make this 701 to disappear. Can you see that right now? Can you see it right now? So we have 651. So it's going to approximate the 7 here. It's going to approximate 1 from here to this, and it's going to be 65 what? Here it's going to be 652. Do you see that? You still remember that, right? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to have my open double quotation, K inside it, close this, and here is going to be 53.652 thousand, quantity purchased. So I'm going to click on my OK key. Now we have this. So if I want to have the same formatting for this, what I can do right now is to go to the top, and I'm going to click right here, click, and here we go. But right here, right now, it's not the same formatting because this one appears in what? Appears in millions. It's different entirely. Ctrl+1, and right here, go to custom. I'm still going to select this, and what I'm going to do right now is to some kind of, I'll say 0.00, right? Then 2 comma, open double quotation, close this, and it gives us the formatting we are looking forward to seeing. Can you see it right now? This is how you do the formatting. And if I click on OK right now, so here is what I have. You see that? So now it is time for me to switch this. So I'm gonna have to create, I'm gonna type in switch. Ctrl B. So hold your Ctrl. You see this plus sign. I'm gonna move this right here. The plus sign. I'm gonna move this right in here. So now to switch this, what I'm gonna do right now is this. Let me scroll to this end. So do you see this value right here? 1 is always changing. Sometimes it will be 2, and it will change to this. So if it is 2, it is quantity. And if it is 1, it is revenue. Like 1 gives us revenue. So that is what we want to use. We can always make a reference to that cell by keeping the number here equal to this, so that when it changes, it's going to change the value on the cell we've just referenced. So it's changing this. So we always know that our 1 is revenue and our 2 is the quantity sold. So we're going to make use of that to actually get this displayed anytime we want it. I'm going to say if this is equal to 1, I want you to give me this, else don't give it to me. Close and hit enter. Oh, I think we are wrong. Is equal to 1 right now. I should use 2 because this is quantity, so I'm going to use 2. 2 is not displaying it, and I'm going to do the same thing to here. This is where we have to use 1. If this is equal to 1, because we know 1 always displays what? Always displays the revenue, right? So if this is equal to 1, then you should give me this. So it's giving us this right now. So we have to format it. So to have the same formatting. So we have to click on this to have the same formatting as well. So we have to create the same switch for this. I'm going to say if this here is equal to 2, so give me this, else display nothing. So you see that? This is where we have it. So I'm going to have to copy this and have it for it. So this is what it is. So right now, let us change this one into 2 and see what happens. So it puts false right here because we've not actually tell Excel what we want if that is false. So hit enter, it disappeared, right? So this is how we just got this created. And I'm gonna come here and use the and create a dynamic header for this, right? So here I'm gonna have to copy what I have in here. Let's copy. I'm gonna cut it, equal to. So if this one is equal to 2, so what I want you to give to me is this, and close, comma. If it is not, display nothing, close, and hit enter. So quantity sold till date. So here is gonna be something similar. So I'm going to say if this one here is equal to 2, comma, if that is true, current quantity sold you can name it anything you want. So comma, if nothing, just display nothing. So current quantity sold, this is very important, we need it. So revenue generated till date is what we have here. So that is going to be if this one here is equal to 1, comma, so display this for me, else do nothing. You get it? So now display this to 1. Both the header and the values got disappeared. Can you see that right now? So if I make it 2, so we have it back. So always we should know where this one that would definitely change is sitting and the one that shouldn't change should remain. Can you see it? So right now what I'm going to do is just to make sure I turn this one to 2, and I'm going to come right here, select this, Control, select this, go to the top, and make sure you call out the place where you have values right in, so that if you want to pick them up, we'll know where to pick them from. As well, I'm going to select those are dynamic. I want to have them on the same thing. So very important, very important. So now might want to even make my headers to be a different color entirely. So we want to make the headers to be on different colors. So I can just use black for it. So nicely done. So 1 will give us this. So now it is time for we to fill this in. How do we do it? So we come back right here. So I can pick this recommendation right here. Control D, pick it up. I'm gonna have to open it up, right? And the first thing I want to get right now is the header for what is on display. So make sure you go to view and bring the formula bar on. So come right here, put your equal to, and go to analysis. And here we go. We pick this up. Can you see it right now? So I can see this is too long. So I'm going to go back right here. So double click on it and remove this generated from here. So we go back right. And this is what we have. So now because it is revenue, I want to use this color here. Use this color, and we have to make it a bit bolder. Tick right. Okay. select it and have it right here. So I'm going to double it. I'm going to have another one right at this particular spot right here. So this time around, I want to change it to this. So we should send this to back. Send to back. So we can have time to click this. So once we've changed this to this, I think something is wrong right now. Let's see what is going on. Yes, we've actually lost this because we manually typed this in. So I'm going to actually make a reference back to where it is. So here is what it is. So now this is actually going to work. If I go back right now, it has put one of it off me. So now here we go. So both of them are actually on display. So I'm going to have to highlight this, come back right here, sorry, highlight this part and go here. I'm going to pick this up. So let's see what happens. This is what I have right now. So I'm going to select this part here and come here and give it the same formatting, but I don't want to have it on this color. So I can just come back here and change it to something like this. You get it? So what I can do right now is to some kind of, highlight both of them together and go to shape format, align middle, and I'm going to say align center as well, align center, and I'm going to click on ungroup. I have them grouped together. Do you see that? That is nice. So now if I click on the switch now, can you see? This is beautiful. So nicely done. So I'm going to still get this one duplicated again. Duplicate this. I'm going to have it right here. So let's just bring what is actually on view. That is revenue till date. So put your equal to here. So go back to revenue till date. So I'm pick this one now. It's going to switch right here. Do we have that? Revenue till date. So let us change this. Okay, nicely done. So, but what I want is actually this color for it. And I'm going to be making this kind of format for it, but I have to reduce it. So here we go. Can go and just reduce it a bit. Now I can have it opened up. Open it and get it reduced more. So something like this will be very cool for me. So I just want to have it right here, very close to this. So we have to double it, Ctrl D, and I'm going to have this one at the bottom. So what I can do right now is just to make sure I highlight this part and go back. We did for revenue, we are doing for what? For the quantity right now, till date. So I'm going to click on OK. Select this, go right here, and copy the same formatting for what we have right here. So if I switch it right now, it gives me this, but this is not the color I want to use. So make sure you change the color to this. So I can now select both of them, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and select align middle, and the same thing, align center, and we have to create grouping. So we group them together. So I can now just go ahead and move it like this. So let's see if I select this one right now, this is what I have. If I select this is what I have. And I just need two more to create. So make sure you go with this. And I'm going to have this right here. So putting my equal to right inside it right now, I am going to go ahead and pick this particular current quantity sold. So we've gotten it. So I have to make sure I bring it this way. I'm going to have it right here. So I can just crank it up a bit. So make it bold. So we just make the color not to be too dark. Let's go with this. So after this, I'm gonna have to double it, Ctrl D to double it. So I'm gonna keep this one here and have this changed to the value we have for it. So the next thing I'm gonna do right now is to actually change the color to the value. Change it to something like this, and we bold it. We crank it up a bit. We can even decide to make it this color. So what we can do right now is just to make sure we get it this way, and we can just have it right here. What about this, guys? So now if we switch between them, this is what we have. Can you see how dynamic this is? All right, I think we are almost done. So let us give it a full screen and see what we've just gotten. So nothing really much, no much difference between what we have right here and what we have in the other part of it. So what I can do right now is just to make sure I some kind of like get this. I'm gonna have this right here. So I can some kind of take this side, hold your shift key to reduce it, and let's start from here and hold your shift key. So that will give you a demarcation. Very nice, very nice. So tell me what, just leave a comment and let me know if there is much difference between what I've created with a lot of time. I have to spend a lot of time to do my formatting, but right now I went straight up to some kind of do it step by step, and still we got something similar to what we've created with a lot of time. So if I go to the previous one right now, this is what we have. So I spent some time to do this formatting in case you find this a little bit different from what we've just gotten created. And right here we don't have dollar sign for it, so we can always go here and make any changes. So we can come right here right now, so we don't have to go there. So Ctrl 1, so we are here. I can just come here and have this, and if I click on OK, go back right here. So we have it. So all we have to do is just to make sure we do a little bit, something like this, and here we go. So guys, this is everything you need to know about this dashboard. So it has a lot of stories. So it says summary of Blender revenue in 2022, and what it shows right now is that whatever we're seeing right here happens in 2022. And if I select on that product like microwave oven, right now we are seeing that in 2022 we have 27% of our revenue generated, and other percentage, which is 73%, falls in the category of the previous years we had been in operation. And right here, coming down right here, what we have is this. We have online not doing well in this particular year, but for this particular same product, we have the in-store people coming into our physical store to purchase something to actually take up to 62% of the revenue, right? So we have the revenue till, the quantity sold for this product till date, and the quantity sold for the current year we have as a filter 2022 to be this one right here. And if we go to the revenue, we have the same thing, and the chart is actually showing us where we have the highest revenue right in based on whatsoever product we have in selection, right? So you have the color that highlights where we have the highest sales and the lowest sales, and even the quantity sold right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you need to know, and you've just actually followed me to create this. And if I go to the one we've created, a lot of formatting can be done. We can decide to some kind of crank this up a bit. So let us put it on 40, and we can open it up. Let us have it reduced, so we can change this to something like this. Nicely done. So what we can do right now, we can go back to the top, insert, and we'll go to shape. We take this circle right here. We can just hold our shift key to have a perfect circle, and bring this one right in here. So once we have it, Control 1. So we can come here and change the color to the same color, but the brightness is too much. What we can do is just to make sure it's on 34, just like the previous one, and take off the line, have it closed. Now we can select this one back and push it to go close to it. It makes it more fancy than usual. So this is the complete of the dashboard. So you can progress into other videos and see how we can actually use Microsoft Excel to do wonders and all that. So a Power BI course is right here as well. Don't forget to check it out and see what you can do to create awesome dashboard like this in Power BI.